the president of the council members. Anybody know who that is?
Nobody knows who the council president is?
Lorena Gonzalez?
That's her. Her first name is Maria.
Is it?
That's what that M. Lorena is. It's
My
Maria
name is
Lorena
Maria, but
Gonzalez.
yes, Lorena.
Dang, y'all don't know her full name? Y'all damn, man. I thought we was educated good enough, but damn, man. I know she's fucking us. Clearly, that's why we here. Clearly. Well,
I could be wrong. That looks like what she dresses. Looks like it.
All right, she's right
she
here.
is right there, guys. Look, they know we coming for them. We coming all day. All day.
Every day!
All day. All day. This is what we do. This is what we beat our feet to the street. This is why.
So you know why we're out here? You know? Well, I'm talking.
Hey, everybody calm down.
I'm talking. I'm one of the organizers.
Can we give her a speakerphone?
Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Mars. We're part of the BB. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're the everyday march. This is us right here. Every
This is our
day.
family.
Every day. Every day march.
All day!
Every day.
All day!
Every day.
All day!
Every day.
Okay, this is us. We here.
Thanks for being here. Welcome to my home. Welcome to West Seattle. And
We've been here a few times.
yeah, I heard.
Oh, you heard? You heard from inside your house, or you heard from someone else?
What's that?
You heard from inside your house, or you heard?
Yeah, I heard from inside the house. I was actually already sleeping because I got a 7-month-old. That's her right
Oh.
Hi, baby.
Well, this is why we're here for the 7-month-old.
So for the record, we got
Yeah, I was just gonna do that. So, hi everybody. I'm Lorena Gonzalez. I'm one of the 9 Seattle City Council members. I currently serve as the president of the Seattle City Council, and live right here in this building with my daughter Navia. She's 7 months old. That's my husband Cameron over there.
What's going on,
Hey,
Cam?
Cameron. Hi, baby.
I'll support your wife.
Yeah, and I know y'all have been making the rounds. I just want to say thank you for keeping the pressure up and for marching every day to remind us why it's important that we take on this fight, and that this is a daily struggle for the liberation of Black and brown folks across the city and across the country. And you know, Seattle sets the tone. The way Seattle goes, the country goes.
Seattle is the example. We are the example here.
And what we do usually means the country follows.
Yes. Change Seattle first. Change Seattle first.
The country, but it's the world.
Amen.
The world follows us.
Amen.
Come on.
So I just want to let you all know that I'm grateful for you demonstrating today and every day. I'm grateful for
Can I stop you there? real
everything
quick?
you
I
all
thought I
doing.
read an article where you weren't okay with it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Oh, with the
us showing up to people's houses.
50% off?
No, us showing up to
with
council
us
members'
showing up
houses.
to your houses. There was a New York Times article that had you quoted in it.
That said,
Saying that was wrong.
No. I believe in people's First Amendment rights. There was some with a specific council member. There were profanities used that I think is misogyny, and that I don't approve of.
Who was it? Someone?
No.
For us?
No. Yeah. So I think some people spray penny things like bitch and whore.
No, we don't. That was.
And I don't know who it was. I'm not saying it was you folks, but for me.
But
it's
I think
really
we can all
important
agree
that
we should
when-
unequivocally.
Hey, hold
When
on.
we're fighting,
Go ahead.
when we're fighting against oppression, we shouldn't put misogyny in there, and so we don't fight oppression with oppression, and those were my comments. But I absolutely support people's right to do this, and I'm glad that y'all are
I
here.
have a question. Since you support our rights to do this and whatnot, what are you actively doing to help push this defunding SPD by 50% this year and reallocating those funds to black communities specifically? Because it's not communities that need that help. It's black communities that are being brutalized and victimized by the police department. It's not black and brown communities. The South End of Seattle, Central District, West Seattle, those are the communities being victimized and racially gentrified in this city and pushing black and brown people out of their own community.
It's
So
systemic.
hey, hold on. What are you actively doing to counteract that?
We are going. So, folks, for folks, I know you all know, but we're doing the rebalancing package right now. Wednesday, there's going to be a lot more discussion about those proposals that are being community driven. So we are looking at making some cuts to the SPD budget where we can make the cuts, and we're looking at making sure that we can come up with at least $13 million of investments for community. And we're working with.
You said where we can make cuts at. First of all, let me tell you something. SPD has a $409 million budget, correct? 82% of that, 82% or $306 million of that budget is spent on benefits, salaries, and overtime.
Yep.
How about you cut those first?
Yep.
That's 82% of the budget. You cut those first and take that money and put it back in black communities right along with the rest of it. That's where you start at, right there with their salaries. Officers are making upwards of $400,000 a year. The citizens ain't even making that.
And on top of that, I want to point something out. Madame, she did say that they're going to offer proposals. Proposals from who, may I ask?
Right.
So there's been several council members who've been working closely with folks from Decriminalize Seattle, for example, and King County Equity Now on some of you may have seen that in committee, right? They presented the 4 points. They came with a 13-page detailed plan, sort of first bucket priorities, second bucket priorities, third bucket priorities, etc. So we're following that blueprint. And
What does that mean? What's the blueprint?
the blueprint is that 13-page document that
What's the budget?
What?
Hold on.
Hold on.
We're trying to get to it.
No, I'm trying to understand.
We're trying to get to the same.
I
got you, baby. I can explain to you.
Yeah.
I can explain to you.
So there's the 13-page document, and that's what we're calling the blueprint, and that's what we're following.
Okay, so how do we get a seat at that table with everybody else?
And how
Because
do we see
we're
that?
putting in the legwork for it.
And how do we see that 13
The page document.
for some who hasn't seen it?
Right.
The 13-page document.
Yeah.
They're publicly available. I'm happy to send it to whoever
can
the
send it
point
right
is.
in.
Okay, can I get your contact
Yeah.
information before you
Sure.
take off? All right.
She can get a hold of all of us.
For
You
sure.
take the both of them because they're two leaders.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they're 2 different
All right.
teachers, and so that's why it's
Okay.
like they need to work as
Got it.
one order.
So I can get that to both of you.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, can you guys quiet down?
And then I think it'll be important to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
Wednesday is going to be an important day. We are meeting starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. There is public comment available online. All you got to do is call in, and we need to hear
Links
from
in the
people.
bio.
So
Links in the bio.
so
in
the
the
more
bio.
there we go.
Oh,
So call in on Wednesday. Show your support for the council following through on that blueprint that has been community drafted and community driven.
What community drafted? What community driven?
So that's what I'm talking about. The Decriminalize Seattle and King County Equity Now has developed that
Just
paper.
those two are is there much more that you just give them the proof.
See, that's the problem. This is what I was going to get to here. So,
Yeah.
something that is an issue. Don't mind my phone. I am live streaming right now. Okay. So I just wanted to make it aware to you that we do not agree with the 4 points that they put out
Okay.
as to where that money should go to
Got it.
Sounds like
whatsoever.
community dressed up.
Okay,
What
that
are the
those
4 points?
were those 4 points. What was the first one? To remove police from dispatch 911 dispatch.
Imagine life beyond policing, affordable housing, and anybody in the crowd know the one that I just missed?
What'd you say? The
It's
affordable
a
housing.
911 call center.
Okay, so
Either way,
just
we
to
know
start
what
with the first 2 points, affordable housing, that is a very important one. I will stick with that.
Space, folks.
Yeah, back up a little bit.
back
Back
up.
up. Back up.
The one that I missed is scaling up community-based
Can we all
solutions
just
to
like take a
poverty.
couple steps back and give us some breathing room, please? The COVID is still real out here. I'm coming. The COVID is real.
Put your
Still.
mask on, man. Put your mask on.
Listen, gotcha, but can we just give us some space?
Okay,
Not
so
the crowd, though.
this is the point. We don't need money to imagine life beyond policing. We can do that with our own free imagination on a daily basis. There's no reason why money should be put to doing that when it could go into black schools and black health, okay? In addition, you don't need money to stop the connection between 911 dispatchers and police officers. Just cut the connection. Why do you need to take that budget and put it there? When we say defund SPD by 50% and relocate those funds into black communities, that's it. There is no negotiation. There's no going around it. There is no picking out money slowly by slowly to see if they'll act right. No, it's cutting it and taking it straight to black communities right away. And I think that proposal that those two organizations you've been working with, it does not work with that. It does not mention that. It does not specifically mention black communities repeatedly. And that is an issue. And the fact that you guys are using those organizations to represent the entire black community here is a huge problem. Because as you can see, we don't agree.
Clearly,
We don't agree. So that is something that needs to change.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So tell me more about what you want to see.
We want to see those funds.
What we want to see is.
Wait, I will.
Go ahead.
We want to see those funds reallocated to communities we mentioned earlier, the CD, the South End, West Seattle, and when we talk about communities, the black communities within those, like education, community centers, drug addiction, social work, all of those things that exactly, healthcare, mental health, all of those things.
And also ways that we can use other resources, not resources, but other options besides policing, like for example, I always bring up Rainier Beach, a beautiful place where we already have an organization that in the hot spots in Rainier Beach, they send out different people who are qualified. So also to deal with youth so that they don't end up in jail at all, because once youth end up in jail once, they're destined to go back again for the most part. So we need to find a way to intervene before, not intervene, but give them other options to do before
Show them that there's someone who believes in them. There's someone who believes in these black kids that they can accomplish so much more than dribbling a ball or throwing a ball or rapping a rhyme in order to be successful in this country. Because there's no reason why a school that's falling apart should have a $7-point-something million field, football field, but the school itself is falling apart. There's no reason why there should be cops driving Audis and Mercedes, but teachers can't even pay for Crayolas. Do you see what I mean here? You see what I'm saying? So it needs to be so specific that these funds are going to those communities, that it's obvious they are being neglected, not just by police, but by in so many other ways, in the healthcare system, by the teachers, but in so many ways, and all of that, those funds need to go. That's where it needs to go, to these black and brown communities, period.
And so how do you propose to include us in that process? How do you plan to commit to putting us in that conversation?
You tell me how you want to.
We want to sit at the table. That's what we're asking for. We want to sit at the table with everybody. We want to sit at the table with everybody and be included with every single thing. We want to be included.
Decisions making, where that money goes, I don't like Nicole said, I don't understand why you guys took two organizations and ran with it. I do understand they have been doing work for a long time, but they do not speak for everyone. We have made that very clear. And it's, how do I put this nicely? Y'all are only coming out and talking to us because we're showing up to your houses, but you guys aren't extending your resources to us and saying, what can I do, which should have been done. And DCRIM and King County Equity Now, that's $3 million. Y'all are trying to dress up money. It's not cool. We are fighting for 50%. We are coming out every day for 50%. That's what we're doing.
We're not dressing
and you guys saying, I'm just gonna give you 16 million, was it that you said? Or 13 million?
13.
Yeah, 13. Oh, 13 million, and saying, okay, well, here's a little sprinkle for you. Here's a slice of the cake. Not giving you the whole cake. We're out here doing the work and sweating our asses off, exhausted, trying to get you guys to listen to us.
And these are the people. We have no political ties. We're not an organization with any leaders with political ties at all. We're just the people. We're the actual community who live in your district, who are your neighbors, who are this and who are that, with no other we have experience because we're black people. I'm 25 years old. I've lived this life forever. 28. We have elders here who lived life too. So just because we haven't necessarily been in organization for a long time doesn't mean we don't know what we're talking about. And we have no ulterior motives besides working for the black community and our youth.
Right. Listen, the youth are the future, and the fact that we're not actually investing in their futures is terrifying. My 6-year-old nephew is one of those black youth that have to come up in this school system. And it's gonna fail him the way it's designed right now. It's gonna fail him to the fullest extent. Because that's how it was meant to be. That's how it was designed to be. Because property taxes pay for schools. But how? If you have these predominantly black schools, that means you have these predominantly black neighborhoods where there's no property that's being owned by black people, so those taxes can be paid to upgrade their schools. But see how public schools can, what, got a $90 million budget? So why are their schools looking like that, but they got $7 million fields in the back? Akakarose is what we're talking about. That's where that $7 million field is. But the school literally is deteriorating every single day while we're sitting here talking too. So why is it that we have this, let's just call it what it is, this racially segregated school system still, when it was supposed to be gone? But yet here it is still to this day. We still have redlining to this day. We still have slavery to this day. It's called the prison system. The education street prison pipeline is real. I am a factual product of it. I've been through it, so I know it's real. That is the problem. It starts in these schools. When my mother was a kid, in elementary school, they had trades in their schools. They had vocational programs to teach these kids trades and skills. They don't have that now today. All they care about is standardized tests. If they can pass this test, we can get them good. But let's be real. Majority of these black kids don't even pass these tests to even think to graduate. Because they're already condemned not to pass from jump. They're already condemned from the jump. From the day they're born. They're already made out to be this criminal. So the school failed them way before they even got there. So how are you committed to changing that for these youth that are coming up now? Because this is why we're here, is for these youth. It's not about us. I can care less about how this is going to affect me. I care about how this is going to affect my 6-year-old nephew, my 3-year-old niece, my 2-year-old nephew. I want to know how this is going to, I'm changing this for them. So how do you, and for your baby, literally for your child. So how are you committed to changing this racial school system to benefit these black kids and give them the same opportunities as the kid in Bellevue?
I mean,
the kid up in Queen Anne.
Right.
I mean, I think we know.
Hang on.
Let her answer the question.
I think we know the answer, right? The answer is investments. We gotta make investments in that community, and we gotta begin and quickly disinvesting from the carceral system and prison system and police.
We need money.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we gotta do both, right? It's a both and.
Right.
We gotta get money back into black communities. I shouldn't even say, and we gotta defund SPD.
By 50% this year.
No way around it.
And next year.
And the year after that.
Period.
Listen, we know.
It's a